and welcome back to Shovel Knight, where we took care of that thing. And you guys know the drill with Shovel Knight. Unless something interesting's going on, we're shooting the breeze. I'm not even gonna lie. So, all right, it is 4/14/2017, which means it is 2 days before Easter. So, happy Easter. A couple months late.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is probably gonna go up like
no,
summer.
Actually, no. This one's gonna go up in about 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, because it'll be continuing the series.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that one just ended. We're on episode 3. That's why I was like, oh gosh, we need to get some Plague Knight recorded. Because I kind of didn't realize that. By the way, this is my favorite potion in the game to use. Because if you toss 3 in a row, it makes a bigger explosion. So, it's pretty nifty. But yeah, Easter. You said you got to go to. Good Friday isn't technically Mass, but you got to go to Good Friday's.
I went to the Chrism Mass for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. I went to the Lord's Supper Mass.
That's
went to
Holy
night
Thursday,
prayer at 12. Yeah, Holy Thursday Mass. Went to night prayer at Holy Thursday. Went to morning prayer Good Friday, and then I went to the communion service on Good Friday.
There's no communion service on Good Friday. Remember, there's no Eucharist.
No, there's no sacrifice of the Mass, so they have pre-consecrated hosts.
I was gonna say I don't think they're supposed to. I don't know.
No, you can. Okay. They can do communion, but it's pre-consecrated. They can't. It's already been consecrated, I think, on Thursday or before Friday. But the thing is, you cannot. There's no sacrifice. There's no consecration on Friday.
I think mine does it. That they just don't have it. Which,
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's acceptable too. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. My dad.
Yeah, I'm assuming you do Veneration of the Cross too, right?
Yeah, I do Veneration of the Cross as well.
Yeah.
As I said, I was able to do that last year. John, unfortunately, was really fussy today and pukey. He's been pukey lately, unfortunately, and Katie needed some time because she actually had to get off work early because of how bad he was. He was at the babysitter, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's no problem though. Even if Good Friday Mass isn't mandatory, and even if you needed to go to Mass, it's understandable if you have to take care of someone.
Right, and that's exactly it. It's just
I have to read more into it, but I think you could even ask your guardian angel to go to Mass for you if you can't make it. Like, obviously, if there's a good reason you can't, it's not like, oh, I don't feel like going today, go to Mass for me.
Right. See, I think Good Friday Mass is one of my... No! Okay. I mean, no. Good Friday Mass is one of my favorite ones. No, it's not. So, just, I guess... And I did this last night as well. I actually was tearing up because it's like, when you realize that, obviously... Yeah, Jesus died for all of our sins, and you just kind of eventually have that realization that while the Romans and Jews killed him, they weren't who killed him entirely. We did that.
That was the homily that our priest gave tonight. He said that it wasn't just Judas, it wasn't just Pilate, it wasn't just the Jews, it wasn't anybody, it was everyone. It was your fault, my fault, it was everyone's fault.
Sounds like he gave a good homily then, because yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I think my priest did a similar homily last night as well. I was listening, but I have such an awful memory. I've actually been meaning to ask him for his homilies, because I really like his homilies.
Yeah, we tend to get some good homilies here.
Yeah. I do really like the music for for Shovel Knight, by the way. I think I've said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've mentioned that.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty rocking.
Yeah, but you mentioned I've gotten emotional at all the masses and services I've been to, but it's always just something to go to night prayer around 10, because that's essentially the time when he's believed that he was the agony in the garden. So they didn't expose the Blessed Sacrament, but they had it in the separate tabernacle just there.
Yeah.
Which I was essentially like visiting with him in the garden.
I wish I would have had time last night, but unfortunately with my job I just didn't, which still makes me really sad.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know, it's just, preference, The
point is you're at least making it, or even if something comes up, you have the intent to go to Easter.
I was gonna say, we're trying to get John to go to Easter Vigil on Easter Day, We think Easter Day shouldn't be a problem since that's an hour. Easter Vigil is the one
Yeah,
where
that's like 2 and it's late.
yeah, but
Yeah.
since it's going to be late at night and the lights are going to be off, we're thinking he will fall asleep for the first half and then just stay asleep for the rest. So I totally messed up on this puzzle. I thought I'd done it incorrectly, but I was just misremembering. So, but anyways, yeah, I was gonna say there's something else I wanted to. I can't remember. But no, actually, I was gonna say, I suppose we could do that. I've actually convinced my wife to go to the. As much as I do like our church, I've been wanting to go to the Basilica for Sunday Mass for ages, and I haven't been able to get her to go. We're actually going for Sunday or for Easter Sunday. So,
Have you done a plenary indulgence for the basilicas?
I don't think so, actually.
You can, I believe, you get a plenary indulgence for making a pilgrimage to a basilica. I don't know if it has to be a minor or major, but you basically, if you go to a basilica and pray the Our Father and the profession of faith or the creed, then you get a plenary indulgence.
Didn't that have to be? Didn't that have to be during the Year of Mercy, or is that all the time?
I think that's all the time, but I don't know if that's completely true or if it has to be a major or a minor basilica.
Okay. For some reason,
I know they did the Holy Doors for the Year of Mercy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Holy
yeah,
Doors
yeah,
was
yeah,
a Year
yeah.
of Mercy thing, but
Yeah,
I think just in general, making a pilgrimage to a basilica is all year.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I did my family did the Holy Doors at Our Lady of Czestochowa.
I did Our Lady of Sorrows Basilica in Chicago, as well as there was 2 other churches that we did over there. We definitely did the cathedral. I'm just blanking on the name of the cathedral at the moment.
I don't like that they made the church that is the cathedral just because there's so many more amazing churches there.
I was gonna say I would prefer Our Lady of Sorrows. Honestly, that one was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I know.
The
I
cathedral
went
is
last night on.
Mhm.
It's what used to be the cathedral might be the cathedral again in the future. Has an altar of repose pilgrimage on Holy Thursday, where they just take you around to a lot of the altars of repose in notable churches around the Indianapolis area.
Okay.
And it's like some of the churches are like, this is amazing. And like we went to one church, it's St. Mary's. I'm not sure St. Mary of what, but it was just, you could tell that it used to be an amazing church, but it just got gutted back during the big iconoclasm.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. So I'm
We
hoping
went
that
to another one, Sacred Heart Church. It's an old rural German parish. And it's just, that church was astounding.
Yeah,
like they've kept everything original. Everything looks amazing. The freestanding altar that they added actually fits in with the rest of the church. They used the same style.
Right.
Obviously, they couldn't get the same woodworker.
Right, but they did as close as they could. I gotcha.
Yeah.
There's some absolute.
I mean,
you're right. There's some
the
absolute.
church is almost as old as the city, so they couldn't get the same woodworker.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a little bit hard. The only way that's happening is if Jesus decided to raise him back from the dead.
You said that I think you mentioned the iconoclasm. Was that what it is? A sect take over it and just start getting rid of the statues and icons?
Yeah, they got rid of basically a lot of the things that make the old beautiful churches the old beautiful churches.
So they were essentially they didn't profess to be iconoclasts, but they were because they got rid of the statues.
Yeah, and some of them may have actually referred to themselves as iconoclasts. But because, it's like, I didn't take any pictures of the church. I'm kind of wishing I had. But it's like I said, you could tell it used to be a really beautiful church.
Yeah, because that's a iconoclasm's a heresy, so that would be really, really weird to have them at least self-identify with that.
And when was iconoclasm declared a heresy?
I honestly don't know if it was declared heresy in the Catholic sense, but I think in the Orthodox sense, because the name literally translates to icon smasher.
And it's like, if it hasn't been declared a Catholic heresy, which I'd be surprised about, then technically it's wrong, but it's like it's not against the code of canon law.
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's because there's like a list of 15 of the chief heresies, like Arianism and stuff. I can't remember if iconoclasm is one of them. May have been because I saw a top 50. Well, not a top, but the list of the 15 chief heresies. And I recognize some of them. Some of them I had to look up.
Yeah.
Others were like heresies because they differed on one small thing. Others were really massive, like Arianism or Manichaeism or any other number of. I don't know. There's so many weird heresies out there.
Yeah.
There is a lot of weird heresies out there. It's like you wonder how they can come up to be about, but humans are pretty fickle on a lot of stuff, unfortunately.
Well, the reason why Arianism was so prevalent, I think, was because to the barbarians that embraced Christianity, the idea of Christ just existing, well, not just existing, just being born fresh during the Annunciation was easier to believe than him existing from all eternity.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a
Like,
lot
it was
of
an easier concept for them to grasp. So they said, "Oh, okay, well that makes more sense. I'll believe in that instead."
I was gonna say there's a lot of parts to Catholicism that can be hard for people to grasp, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why it would be. I couldn't really explain the Mass to somebody without, I don't know, a book. You can't, in a nutshell, Catholicism for anybody. You gotta.
Yeah.
That's why you take months and months of courses to.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a shame that Michael's not here because he could talk about how, that's been going on.
Yep.
Yeah, he becomes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna say, I guess we can say this. Congratulations, Michael.
Yeah, he becomes a full Catholic on Saturday.
And apparently, I wanted to die there. But yeah, he comes a full Catholic Saturday. So I mean, definitely congratulations to him.
I'll have to ask him what his confirmation name was.
Yeah, mine was Maximilian.
I took Jude. Which I don't really regret, but at the same time, I wish I had had more thought at the time because I did it in like 6th grade, so I guess I didn't have enough time to have more profound respect for a saint because I'm really starting to get into Saint James the Greater now.
See, I was gonna say
one thing. I waited to do my confirmation until I was 21.
Right.
Actually, how old was I? Because I would have been confirmed either at 22 or 23.
See, I got Go ahead, sorry.
I'm
James.
glad I waited because it's like if I had done that in
when
high
you look
school,
back in retrospect, it seems like there's a lot more thought behind the decision that you need. But
did he already opened a new rift. Sorry.
No, you're
like
fine.
I'm here. I'm doing stuff in Kanai's cube. I'm combining gems. And I look at chat.
Rift.
Reckless has killed a lot division. I'm like, wait, what?
I hear you. You're fine. But no, I don't know if I've told this story yet. I actually got really lucky with my name. The only reason I chose Maximilian Colby was, oh hey, that sounds like Maximilian Pegasus. Yu-Gi-Oh is really cool, guys.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say. So it just turned out I got one of the best saints for a stupid reason. I'll take it.
Yeah, and Colby was a conventual Franciscan. So
yeah. He
the
also
conventionals were gone about that.
he founded the Nagasaki Garden, I think.
He founded a lot of stuff in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff in Japan.
Then we nuked it.
I mean, he was a Holocaust victim by choice.
By choice. Yeah, exactly. Because I was going to say, he, as you said, it was by choice. He stepped in for that one Jewish man. And if I remember correctly, that Jewish man actually got to see him become a saint, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. Go ahead.
Is he one of the ones who was honored by Israel? I can't remember.
I could see that.
Well, I think, I don't know if it was Israel, but I think some Holocaust group honored. It wasn't too long after World War II they honored Pope Pius the 12th, I think. Contrary to what a lot of the, I guess, the atheists or secular media portrays him as Hitler's Pope. If people looked into the research, it wasn't too long after World War II that he was honored for defending Holocaust victims.
And I mean, he did a lot. The main reason people think he didn't do anything is because he didn't outright declare war on Hitler.
Which would have been a stupid idea if you're right in the heart of fascist Italy, because imagine what would happen to the Catholic Church if the Vatican collapsed and the Pope and the Cardinals were all dead.
We'd recover, it would just take a while.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Church would never die, but that would be a massive, massive blow to the faith.
To be fair, wouldn't it be the first time that's happened? Rome?
Yeah, it's been sacked numerous times, I think. But he always manages to stay alive.
Almost like it's the one true Church of God. Fancy that.
For almost 2,000 years. It'll be 2,000 years in 2033, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy. Speaking of crazy, crazy in a good way, I suppose. I happen to have heard one of the most interesting / best, like, not secular, but not like in a church, portrayals of the Passion of the Christ. And it was. Have you guys seen that episode of The Simpsons where Bart Simpson distracts Sideshow Bob by getting him to recite an entire play?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, well, basically it was kind of like that, but instead of a play that didn't matter, it was somebody that sounded kind of like Sideshow Bob, but instead of being whacked out crazy, he was obviously just showing his love for God, and it's like. The reason he was doing that was because of just how much he loved God. And it was I wish I would have found the name of it, but it was really interesting because he also brought up a lot of good points. And it was kind of like he was doing a one-man show. He was doing all the parts of the Passion of the Christ, adding a couple things that would make sense that weren't expanded on in the Bible. So it was as I said, I really wish I knew what it was called, but it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think the Simpsons are a mixed bag in a sense. They don't beat up on religion as much as, say, Family Guy does, but
it depends.
They don't necessarily treat it. They switch it around, I guess.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, I know that I saw a clip a couple weeks back. It was like something, man, this makes me sad. Or like Martin from The Simpsons died. It's like, man, this makes me sad. Almost as sad as if Jesus were real. That would make me sad. Like his sacrifice. Like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, that's not a funny line there.
At least it doesn't go the way of, I guess, Family Guy, which just pulls the classic, oh, well, everything's so futuristic. So, it's because they were in the world where religion never existed.
Did they do that? That's so dumb.
Yeah, they were traveling through different universes, and they were in one where it was hyper-futuristic, and they said, no, this is the universe where there's no religion. And I was like, hey, yeah, great.
Yeah, maybe you should do some research there, Seth MacFarlane. How about you do that one?
Completely forget about all of the monks through the Middle Age, or the Dark Ages, or Middle Ages, or whatever.
I was gonna say, I know I brought this up before, but I really love that 4chan post.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
fast forward 2,000 years later, man, if there was no religion.
It's like, oh my yeah, that's one of my probably favorite 4chan posts. The only thing that I'd want changed is just some of the wordage. That's usually but it's like...
But people seem to just completely forget how much effort went into writing books back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't photocopy anything. If that book was lost, oh well, there goes all of the knowledge that was in it, unless the Vatican had a copy. Now you gotta go rewrite it by hand.
Yep. Have fun. Yeah, I mean, people don't get it. Like, monks literally, I mean, we all know that, sacrificed their lives to keep this knowledge going.
And it wasn't just like writing college notes down, bullet points. Like they had, there was an art, like a calligraphy to it, and they had designs and stuff on the pages. It was beautiful.
Exactly. It really is a shame just how much secular media as well as other things have twisted the truth so much. Honestly.
Yeah, same as happened with the Crusades. Man,
the
Crusades are such a crazy thing of misconceptions or people hyper I guess turn it into this massive propaganda piece for let's go slaughter all the Muslims. And I'm like, no. I mean,
no,
I like the Crusades. They were justified, and I like the history and the imagery, but by no means should it be used like the Nazis
Yeah.
and used it as an excuse or a rallying cry to kill all of the non-believers.
I was gonna say the other part was they were kind of doing it first. That was the whole reason the Crusades happened.
Exactly, it was the conquest of the Holy Land and the attacks on the Christian pilgrims, which
And
is why we're
killing
like,
them.
hey, let's
was
stop them from doing that.
I mean, there's so many stories of saints that were murdered during, like, before the Crusades even started by Muslims. So I can't remember what his saint's name, but there was, like, an entire village that died by Muslims because none of them would convert. And even, like, there was one saint's body, and I wish I could remember his... I'd love this scene, but I want to keep talking about this for a second because this goes on for a bit anyways. So basically there was one saint's body that until everybody's body, like everybody's head had been chopped off because everybody was getting guillotined, he was the first one. His body did not go limp until everybody else's had been chopped off. And I wish I remembered his name.
I think
Then one other thing on that. I was going to say that actually converted either a couple Muslims, and then they killed those Muslims that converted.
yeah, because you would be apostizing right there.
Yeah.
But I believe there's a story of Saint Francis of Assisi visiting in the middle of the Crusades, visiting a sultan, and when he was leaving, the sultan basically, when saying goodbye to him, said, "Hey, pray for me that I essentially do what God wants me to do. Like, pray that God tells me what is best for him, and I'll do it." Because I guess he was so moved by Saint Francis's example, but he didn't want to just leave the Muslim faith. He was conflicted.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Hopefully, he did convert eventually, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he did, but
yeah, I mean, that can be hard. It's like, I think I'm really blessed to have been born Catholic because it's like it's so much easier to accept even some stuff than from when you were a kid. But it's I think I would have eventually found my way to the one true faith anyways. It's just it can be it can be really hard for some people, you know.
yeah, that's why I admire converts so much,
I do
especially
too.
people that have been grown up without any kind of faith. Like it's one thing to, I guess, be brought up at least as a Protestant and have at least believe in the Trinity and Christ's sacrifice and all that, but to be brought up and never believing anything, I'd be, because if I had grown up, I guess, as an atheist or an agnostic my entire life, just hearing what we teach and what we know in Catholicism, I'd say, wow, that's a load of bull. Why would I believe in that?
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of faith, really, for these converts to just make a conscious decision. Yes, I believe in all of this, and I want to join this church.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, we got an achievement for being a creep. Just wanted to point that out. That if you watch Mona dance for, I think it's 2 minutes, you get an achievement.
What is the achievement? You're a creep?
Yeah. Like, basically, when Plague Knight came down, he's like, haha, nobody would watch you like that. That'd be creepy. So then the achievement name is Creep. Yeah. That was a good conversation, though. We'll have to definitely do that for next episode, too. So, thank you for joining, though, guys, and Pax Bonum.